Mula sa kabisera ng Inglaterra, sa puso ng Britanya, London, UK. London, UK. Ito ang Channel Philippines Network, Pinoy Radio UK. Pinoy Radio UK. Sumasayang papawid 24 oras. 24 oras. Buong linggo. Sa www.pinoyradiouk.com. Ang mga pinakapaborito mga awitin, mga pinakaabangang programa, at mga sariwang balita at impormasyon mula at para sa mga kababayang Pilipino sa UK at sa buong mundo. Pinoy Radio UK. Pinoy Radio UK.
Okay, happy Tuesday. Magandang evening ho sa inyong lahat. Welcome ho sa ating program. Ako po si SONNY LARAGAN dito po sa Legal Advice Corner which happens every Tuesday evening. No? Welcome ho sa ating mga kababayan sa apat na sulok ho ng United Kingdom. Yan ho ang England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Good evening ho. No? Magandang gabi ho sa inyo. Mga kababayan ho namin dito ho sa United Kingdom. At syempre, tuloy kayo kabayan. Kung kayo ho'y nasa Europa, good evening din, no? Magandang gabi ho sa ating mga kababayan sa apat na sulok ng Europa. Good evening, good evening. At syempre, kung kayo'y nasa labas ho ng Europa, ng UK, welcome ho sa ating program. It could be good morning, or good evening, or good afternoon ho, no? Sa inyo. So mga kababayan natin sa Pilipinas, magandang gabi pa, madaling araw, midnight, no? 6 plus 7, mga alauna ho ng gabi, no? Gabi. Kalagitnaan ng gabi. At syempre sa Amerika, morning or afternoon, depende ho kung nasan kayo. Kung California, 7-8 hours in time difference. So alas 10 na umaga ron sa sa California. Sa New York, -5. Kung 6 o'clock dito, -5, alauna ng hapon. Okay, well, good evening ho. Welcome ho sa ating programang, ito yung Dagdag Kaalaman program on a Tuesday. It happens every Tuesday. At dito po ay malalaman ho ninyo yung mga batas dito po sa United Kingdom. At syempre, hindi ho ako abogado. Wala ho akong alam, wala akong kinalaman, ako yung nakikipakinig lang at nakikitanong-tanong lang. At yung mga tanong ho ninyo, ipinapahatid ho natin dito sa ating pinakamamahal na Beauty and Brain Show, no? Well, we're so proud of her, ang napakabata hong managing partner ng Deo Volente Solicitors or kilala sa pangalan DV Solicitors. Mga kaibigan, siyempre, it's with pride and honor na pinakikilala ko at na-miss ko. Siyempre, every week nami-miss ko to. No? Siyempre, ito na ho, yung ating pinakamamahal na co-host. In fact, siya ang star of the show. Walang iba kundi si Attorney DANNA QUINTO. Attorney, magandang gabi. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, Mr. Laragan. Happy Tuesday sa ating mga ka-remote social bubble. Hindi, Mr. Laragan, ikaw din ang star of the show. So lahat tayo star of the show. Hindi lang ako. Pati yung mga audience natin kasi dagdag experience yung audience participation when they ask questions, when they greet, yung mga feedback nila, that's what really makes the show much richer at mas masaya, hindi ba? Kamusta po kayo? You know, it's, October na. So, second week of October na. Kamusta, Mr. Laragan?
Anong date ba ngayon? 11. Oh, malamig. Was it today? Today it was, I think, 4 degrees no kanina umaga yata or something like that. Nagbabike ka pa sa umaga eh. Ano yan? Sorry?
It was a bit cold.
A bit cold, yes.
Yeah.
Oo. Pero balikan ko lang ha, ikaw ang lahat kami okay, may mga remote social bubble tayong family, ako andito. Pero ang dahilan niyan ikaw eh. Hindi naman kami sino pakikinggan namin. Ikaw umiinom kami lahat kayo. Sa'yo ikaw kaya okay, andiyan dyan sila, andiyan dyan andito ako, pero ikaw pa rin ang dahilan kung bakit may programa. Ika nga, no? Ikaw, nag-iinom kasi maski, ikaw pa rin. And the reason why nagkatagpo-tagpo, nagkukumpul-kumpul tayo ngayon virtually is because of you, no? Because there is something na malalaman tayo for today. Teka muna, ano ba, quickly lang ba, before we go back into the yung ating mga kwentuhan at balitan, ano topic natin for today?
Nasa the proving clinical negligence. Dito po tayo sa civil litigation series last week. Parang ano ano nga ba yung sa atin? Sa mga season 1, season 2, season 3. No, nasa season tayo ng civil litigation. Matapos nating matagal-tagal tayo sa season ng divorce at children arrangements proceedings. Nandito naman tayo sa area of law. Ng civil litigation. Last week, quick recap, binigay natin yung overview. Meron pa akong aking whiteboard na maliit showing the procedures. And now, hihimayin natin yung isang particular topic, which is proving clinical negligence. Ano ba yung elements nito? And ano yung kailangan mong what you have to show to the court to have a successful medical negligence claim.
Ayan, oo. Kasi merong ganyan, di ba? Minsan, inoperahan, tatanggalin ioperahan yung kaliwang baga, natanggal yung kanang baga, no? Mga ganyan. So, criminal negligence yun. Tama ba yan, attorney? Yun, considered criminal negligence. Clinical negligence. Oo, naiwanan yung kunyari naiwanan yung isang gunting doon sa loob ng tiyan mo. Sigurado. Clinical negligence. May mga ganyan, di ba? May naiiwan din, mga gloves. So, I don't know, whatever. Anything can happen eh.
I think I was asked on a particular case many years ago. I can't remember kung surgical staples ata yung issue at that time. Whether or not dapat bang naiwan yun. But meron yun, gunting, gauze. So may mga ganun na mga
yes, right.
na ano tayo, 'di ba? Na naririnig. Wow. Delayed treatment yung medyo less na unusual naman, or we're going to the more na usual nating kaso naririnig. Delayed treatment, misdiagnosis, maling treatment, maling dispenser ng maling pag-dispense ng gamot, and so on and so forth. Those are the more traditional ones na clinical negligence. And then, yung mga napapanood natin sa TV, naiwan yung gunting, mali yung bagang kinuha, you could have extreme cases like that. We've heard of it, nakikita natin sa mga TV, advertisement, ng mga abogado, no win, no fee, clinical negligence, and these mga medical issues with medical team. So, we'll talk about that later. Hindi po to disrespect sa ating mga kababayan na alam natin, nagtatrabaho at very hardworking, very esteemed members of the medical community dito sa United Kingdom. It's just that error is a fact of life. The same sa road traffic accident, the same in any areas of professional or just human activity. It is a part of life. Making a wrong judgment call sometimes, committing mistakes. It is a fact of life, and that's the reason why may insurance ang karamihan sa mga profesyon dito sa United Kingdom, including ang mga doktor, including ang NHS in itself. So that's the reason why. Dahil there's a risk. We accept that there's a risk, and we manage that risk by setting aside a fund, may mga insurance fund, or may mga may mga litigation fund yun sila in order to deal with compensating those victims. So, no judgment po tayo dito. Ang respeto po natin sa medical community mataas na mataas po.
Ako, alam mo, sa akin, yung mga, totoo yung sinasabi mo, aksidente, hindi mapipigilan yan eh. Ako nga, kunyari, may maghuhugasan ako, no? May na-avoid ako, kunyari, no? Dahil, minsan, I don't know if you notice that, Attorney, yung parang ingat na ingat ka, na minsan pwede mo hawakan na maayos, kaya parang gusto mong, wag baka marumihan yung kamay mo, so may iba hawak mo, no? Konting ano. Tapos doon nagkukos ng accident, eh. Imbis na ano, mahuhulog na, o kaya masisiko mo. Yung mga bagay na we're trying to not to dirty your hands masyado, gusto mo hawakan ng ano. Minsan kaya nga na ano ko na, sige, wala na, basta maski ano na, hawakan ko na lang mabuti kasi ang dami beses ko na nasuisigo ko, na ano ko, biglang mahuhulog, mababasag, no? So, aksidente yon, simpleng bagay lang pero in real life, di ba, there are things that happen eh. May mga aksidente na hindi natin maiwasan, na kailangan natin ng legal, siguro, hindi naman intermission, ano ang word na ano na intervention yun, no?
Legal
intervention,
legal intervention, so that
yun.
kung successful yung claim and indeed entitled yung isang claimant, magkakaroon ng proper compensation at may way to make sure na manage yung risk, because as I've said, it's a fact of life. Tayo nga nagkakamali, tayo nga natitisod, tayo nga we make missteps. That's a part of of the nature of us, the nature of humans, the nature of our activities. May risk involved. So that's marami minsan kasi na may mga na-offend, and opinion nila yon, dahil libre naman daw ang NHS litigation, NHS dito, ang health service, and controversial kasi itong topic na to, clinical negligence. Bakit pa daw may mga abogado or legal professionals who are critical of this system? The reality is that the lawyers are there regardless kung sino man yan yung institution na yan. If there is a tort, kung may dispute, kung may a potential for making sure na heard ang isang partido, kung making sure that their case is being put forward, yun ang trabaho namin sa sistema, to ensure that those voices are heard as well. So, trabaho naman ng kabilang partido, yung abogado ng depensa ng NHS man yan, o private hospital man yan, trabaho nila kilatisin na i-deliberate kung tama ba kung maayos ba ang claim na to. So, there are participants in the system to make sure na kung sino yung entitled lang, kung sino yung justly entitled, or yung may claim talaga will go through. So, yun ang explanation ko sa mga may mga violent reaction. Minsan kasi may mga violent reaction in terms of being critical. It's sa ating kasabihan, trabaho lang po. Trabaho lang po ito. And
walang personalan. Trabaho lang.
Personalan po ito. Mataas kalala. Kasi lahat ng kaibigan ko halos lahat ng kaibigan ko na Pilipino sa United Kingdom from the medical community. So, that's ang ating introduction for today's topic. But sana may
tsaka we also try to protect the hindi naman porke okay na lang pag nagkamali o merong negligence or whatever, di ba? Alam natin ginagawa nila yung trabaho nila, pero there are times maaaring pagod yan, maaaring so nangyari, di ba? So anyway, may insurance naman yata ang gobyerno, yung mga, di ba? Meron naman insurance, so hindi naman kukunin din sa tao eh. Yun nga lang, sila on a personal capacity, personal basis, maaaring magkaroon sila ng epekto doon sa kanilang work record, no? Pero in terms of yung pasyente naman, o yung taong na anuhan ng negligence, siyempre kawawa naman, and they have to be compensated. I wouldn't want to be compensated kung natanggal mo yung mata ko, whatever yung kabilang baga ko, di ba? Hindi mo papabayaran yun, kaya lang wala nang choice kundi pabayad ka na lang dahil yun na lang di ba? Better than nothing, di ba? May damage ka na at least may ka man lang, may compensation ka.
May hint tayo. Talagang yung unang sinabi ni Mr. Laragan, pasok yan. Spoiler alert, pasok yan mamaya sa mga
Okay.
element ng clinical
Oh,
negligence case. The damage. So watch out for that later on.
watch out. Ay, teka muna. How was your weekend? May niluto ka ba? Nakasyal ka? Anong balita sa'yo?
Pumunta ako sa kiddie party ng kaibigan ko.
Oh, kiddie party.
Kiddie party. First time ko, I think for a long time, na pumunta sa 1-year-old na kiddie party. That is
Oy!
Kate.
Wow!
So, yung
Sino yan?
ni Kate, Catherine ang pangalan niyan. Kate yan. 1-year-old baby.
Oh.
Yung mom niya ay kababata ako sa Mindanao. So si Ate Shax ang pangalan, si Ate Christine. We grew up together. So I think grade 6 ako or grade 5 or grade 6 ako. 4th year siya. Yan. Ate Shax. Yes. At dito we find ourselves in the same country. Nakakatawa. We were idol ko yan eh. Nung bata ako, idol ko siya. Matalino, very, very nice person. I can only say good things about her. Matalino, very nice, just a generally decent person. So, she's here, nakakatuwa. At nung sinabi niya, nung naimbitahan ako, talagang go na go ako kahit ako lang yung walang anak na dating may mga, dalawa kami na walang anak doon. At nakikipaglaro din kami, sama din kami doon sa games ng mga bata. It was fun. It was different. Ang daming energy ng mga bata, Mr. Laragan. May mga apo ka, di ba? So kaya nila nakukuha yung energy nila. Ang dami talagang energy. Ako napagod na ako at lahat. Sila tumatakbo pa rin, sumasayaw pa rin. It's quite fun. It's quite
May isa akong tanong, attorney. Pareho ba kayo ng dentista ni ate Talagang nakangiti nyo, ganda.
May para yun ata yung uso sa Mindanao eh. Sa Coronadal. So we're both from Marbel or Coronadal. We grew up there.
Yeah,
So may kasama din meron kong kababata dyan na may umattend din. Nakakatawa.
Okay, good. Well, maganda, no? Yung mga ganyan, yung mga kababata, kababayan, no? Pero yung bata, ang ganda na hawak sa buhok mo, yung kalawang kamay, left hand, pakita mo nga. Direct, pakita mo nga yun, no? Gusto ko yung kapit niya eh. Talagang parang
kasi galing kami, may parang yung snow, yung actually yun eh, soap ata yun na parang snow machine pero soap yun. So tuwan-tuwa yung mga bata. Tuwan-tuwa din siya. Tuwan-tuwa din ako.
Naka-strapless ka ba dito, attorney?
Naka parang tawag dito, yung turtleneck.
Turtleneck. Pero may coverage, walang bukas yung shoulders, ha?
Ayan,
sino to?
Si Kuya Sam, yan yung daddy. Asawa ni Ate Christine. So ayun yung
Caucasian, British, Caucasian?
Caucasian British, I think.
Caucasian British.
Middle Eastern, pero Caucasian British, yeah, British.
Alright. Okay. Wow, okay. First baby nila ito, ano pangalan ulit?
Second baby, si Kate. Second baby,
na.
ayaw magpa-picture. Yung si Matthew, hinabol ko, ayaw magpa-picture sa akin. Mahirap makipag-selfie sa bata na tumatakbo na.
Paano to? Walang kandila? Paano ito? Paano nag-blow? Walang binulong candle?
Hindi na. Umuwi. Alam nyo naman may strike nung etong...
yung tube strike. Train strike ba? Train strike?
Train strike. So, kailangan ko umalis. Even though, so I think I went home an hour earlier just before magki-cake sila. I really needed to go home kasi may last train. I think nakuha ko yung second to the last. Yung last direct train to Bedford.
Saan sila, attorney? Saan sila? Saan ka nagpunta?
Canada Water yan eh. Sa Canada Water.
Canada Water. Sa London. Sa London yan. Canada Water. London.
Talagang I wouldn't miss it kasi matagal ko siya. I think last time nakita ko siya was pre-pandemic. Pero grabe, ang aming pong realidad ngayon dito sa UK, may mga train strikes. So, extremely limited hindi naman wala naman akong pinapanigin sa issue na yan dahil parehong, may mga points across ang both parties. Pero yon, which means extremely limited ang aming train. And it means the last train left from London at 5:48 or something like very early.
Wow.
Very early. So I needed to get to West Hampstead mga 5 o'clock. Sobrang konti lang yung, siguro 5 minutes lang yung.
Bakit West Hampstead? Bakit Hampstead ang doon ang collecting na mo?
Doon ang collecting. Doon ang pinakamabilis. Yun ang pinakamabilis ko na connecting.
Okay,
so, I wanted to stay for the rest of it. Kaso talagang kailangan mong kailangan mong schedule talaga eh. Kailangan mo talaga.
Alam ko na.
Di ko na
alam ko na kung bakit kumapit sa gusto ng bata dahil alam niya aalis ka na after a few siguro minutes after nakakapit siya.
Napakabait ng batang yan. Alam mo, naglalakad na po yan ng 12 months. Naglalakad na siya 12 months.
Mukhang blue ang favorite color, eh. Blue ang damit niya. Blue din yung cake na nakasulat sa likod.
Elsa ata ang let it go yung Frozen.
Let it go. Frozen ang theme. Wow, galing. Cute naman. It's nice. It's nice. Naiingit ako sa'yo. Naiingit ako sa'yo because you have some friends dito sa United Kingdom na from your place. Kung nagbata ka. Ako yata wala eh. Wala akong alam na taga-lugar ko. Wala akong kaibigan nandito na masasabi ko from my place, where I studied, o wala eh. Wala. But anyway, okay yan. At least I'm happy for you. More or less, kung bibilangin mo mga friends mo, ano yan? 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12? Ilan yan?
Yung mga taga sa amin, madami. Oo, madami po.
Marami kayo?
Mga yung taga Coronadal, marami po kami dito. So, shout out to taga Coronadal.
So, wala ka palang, okay ka palang, masaya pala kayo. You can have a get-together. Sa akin, wala akong affiliation na parang in the past or my place na pwedeng masabi kong grupo ko. Wala. But anyway, at least ikaw, kasi grupo na kita.
Mag-uumpisa ako ng Coronadal chapter dito sa...
Yeah. Maganda yun. Get together. Kamukha nila si Stan, di ba? Si Stan ba? Taga-resan nyo rin si Stan?
Hindi po taga sa amin si Stan.
Taga saan si Stan?
Ilonggo lang si Stan, Ilonggo.
Ilonggo.
Ilonggo kami, kasi pareho kaming Ilonggo. Pero yung taga amin talaga, marami-rami din. Meron sa London, meron sa Nottingham ata.
Sa Surrey, marami ka rin yata. Surrey, di ba?
Surrey, madami sa Sussex. Sa London, there's a few. Yung batch talaga namin, yung marami-rami po kaming nurses dun galing sa
batch ninyo.
Sa age group. Age group.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Masaya.
Abangan pa ang mga gala.
Yung mga get-together. Malapit na Pasko. Ilang araw na Pasko na. Malapit na Pasko. Teka muna. Ang next na scheduled mo ba na holiday, yung birthday mo at the end of the year? Or before that, meron ko bang Kasi I remember, you had Athens, but because of yung travel, parang medyo mahirap pa, na-move mo yata, di ba? February ba na-move? Tama ba yan?
Na-move ko ng February.
And then you probably lost a little bit of money for the rebooking. Tama ba yan?
Yes.
Diba? Oo nga, di ba? Yan nga. Pero nga, meron ba, is anything lined up for the end of the year?
Meron probably sa November, pero short break lang. It has to do with charity work na I would do every year up in Lake District. Pero hindi ko pa, depende kasi kung depende sa work kung makakaakyat ako sa Lake District sa November. So we do mga yung Jewish, it's called Mitzvah Day. It means giving your time rather than donating money. You give your time. Service ang i-donate mo. I've been doing it for years. Tapos, medyo na iba lang ng pandemic kasi dati nagti-tree planting or working with refugees, asylum seekers. Very very good, nakakatuwa yung ano na yon, yung charity na yon. Ano lang na naudlot yung run because of the hindi sila, ako yung naudlot, naging remote, so I would go up to Lake District mostly every year around that time, mga third Sunday of November. I'll see if I can do that this year. Depende siguro makakaalis ako ng Friday. I would love to do that. Sana nga, it'll be good kasi hindi niya po ako nakitang nag-Lake District. I used to go there every year before the pandemic. Napakaganda. Again, another beautiful place. So
yeah. We'll be there.
Gagala na naman ako. Mauulan na naman ako.
Ako rin, gagala din ako, attorney, pero hindi ko kagad muna sasabihin kung kailan. Kung saan. Sa end of the month until first week of November. Yan.
Oh, wow.
Pero Europe. Oh. Titignan ko kung mapuntahan ko ito sa Quantum, ano yun, kay James Bond, Quantum of, ano yun?
Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, parang ganun yata. May kalsada ron na pinag-drivean si James Bond. Gusto kong puntahan yun. So, medyo ula mo yun. Yun ang medyo ano natin. Okay, teka muna, magano tayo, attorney, yung ating pagbati, sabi nga natin, di ba, sabi ko nga, ikaw ang star of the show. Sabi mo, hindi, kasama natin yung mga kasusababong natin. Pero ito na. So at least i-acknowledge natin kung sino ang mga bumate, ano yung mga pagbati nila. Okay, go. Direct.
Ay, paano ni Direct?
Nasa yung bumper ni Direct mo.
Kasi si Direct. Direct!
Okay. Ito na, go.
Ayan na.
Okay, attorney, ayan, sige, hula-hula. Sino sa palagay mo ang unang bumati sa atin sa araw nito? Yan.
Naalala ko na si Oliver Fernandez. Hindi ko alam kung
okay.
Oliver Fernandez.
Si Oliver Fernandez. Let's, sige ka natin direct. Oliver Fernandez ba?
Hindi!
Parang hindi. Parang ano, no? Minsan inuhulaan mo si Maring Galisang Paner, iba ang lumalabas, di ba?
Iba lumalabas.
Pero okay lang, sila yung mga ano, maganda ba picture niya ngayon? Parang haba ng buhok ni
Maganda
Marian.
picture always niyan eh. Maganda parati.
Wow, galing. Marian, mabuhay ka. Sige,
Marian,
attorney.
mabuhay ka. Sabi niya, hello po Kuya Sonny, Attorney Dana at sa lahat. Happy Tuesday po and stay safe always. God bless us po. God bless you too, Marian Galicia Paner. Sana one day makaano tayo, no? Tour na parang all over the United Kingdom para mabisita natin yung mga kababayan natin sa yung mga ni London, yung mga nasa malayo. Sana magawa natin yan.
Yeah, hopefully, no? Or we can come up with a bus tour na.
A bus tour, may bus.
Di ba, yung mga gano'n, di ba, So, punta tayo sa, mag-ano na tayo. Okay, so, si Marian Galicia Paner ang unang bumati sa atin. Sino ang pangalawa, attorney?
Panininig ako si Oliver Fernandez.
Oliver Fernandez. Sige, tignan nga natin direct. Edgar Duay! Mabuhay! Okay.
Edgar Duay! Hello sa inyong lahat, lalo na sa ating masiyahing Attorney Dana Q, mga ka-RSB ko. Hi, direct medalist PPRP, and to the legend himself na Mr. Sonny LARAGAN. Yan, tandaan. Tough times never lost. But tough people do. Brought to you by the wisdom of Edgar Duay.
Edgar, Pero ingat kayo,
Edward.
yung mga mental health po natin, pagka medyo mahina kayo, may tough times tinamaan kayo. Minsan may iba nagbibigti, tumatalon sa sa bridge, no? Wag, ingat lang, no? Tiyaw lang. Tuloy ang buhay. You have to exert the effort to be mentally healthy, no? Ayan, no? Kasi si
Tama.
Kate at saka si Prince William nag-guest sa Radio 1 yata. They were talking about mental health, no? Dito it's a big thing dito, mental health, di ba? No?
It's a big
Kasi nga,
thing
di ba?
here.
Oo, kini-claim nila si Harry at saka si Prince William, yun nga, naapektuhan because of the death of the mom, mga ganun, mga mental health thing, no? So, ayan. Oh. Okay, thank you very much for the advice sa tuwa ako sa direct medalist, no? PPRP. Oo, Paula Patricia Perez Roque.
Parang presidente lang si Direk
Roque
Paula
Perez.
Parang ganun yung
Oo
mga
nga,
pag-abbreviate.
parang PPRD, no?
President
parang
Paula
si
Patricia Perez.
Paula Patricia Perez.
Roque Perez.
Roque Perez. Roque pala ang nanay niya, si Roque. Okay. Yeah, okay, let's go. Pangatlo, sino ang cum laude natin kamukha ni Direk? Cum laude.
Kailangan ko ng panindigan all the way to third honor.
Oliver. Sige.
Oliver. I believe in you.
Oliver.
Wala talaga. Absent si Oliver. Oliver, excuse letter mo, ha?
Maribel. Okay, Maribel, ha? Hello po. Napakatipid mo, no? A person with few words, no? Si Maribel. Mabuhay ka, Maribel, ha? Taga saan ka, Maribel? No?
Mysterious.
Ano yan, attorney?
Parang mysterious. Hello po. Diba?
Hello po. Parang ganun. Parang, sabagay, maganda yan. May mga taong sinasadya maging mysterious, diba? Parang nga naman lalo mo silang kilalanin, no? Tama. So, mabuhay ka, Maribel, ha? Uy!
Yan si Tita pa, Ma'am Cora Carsola.
Andito ka na ba? Andito ka na?
Dito na siya eh. Namiss ko si Tita, ha. Matagal na ata andito si Tita Cora, Mr. Laragan.
May 1 week, 2 weeks na siguro, no? Parang no?
Isang buwan na ata nakabalik si Tita Cora.
Isang buwan na ba nakabalik? Isang buwan, di ko okay.
Hello daw, Sir Sonny, Attorney Dana, at sa lahat. Masayang gabi. Yes, masayang gabi. Happy Tuesday talaga. Kaya, yun yung sinasabi natin eh, para, yun, it's a balance of pushing through sa tough times and also looking after yourself. And at the end of the day, kailangan nating hanapin yung nagpapasaya sa atin sa buhay. You know, what gives us peace, what gives us happiness, at hanap ng ako personally, mahilig ako maghanap ng mababa kaligayahan ko. Mahilig ako maghanap ng mga simple happiness sa buhay. Although yes, may times talaga mahirap maghanap. May times na mahirap maghanap kahit ng simple happiness. Pero kaya nga andito tayo, sabay-sabay tayo maghanap every Tuesday ng ating Happy Tuesday.
Alam mo ba, masama ang loob ko niya kay Ma'am Cora? Galit ako kay Ma'am Cora. Alam mo kung bakit? Kasi naiingit ako sa kanya. Nakauwi ng Pilipinas, ako hindi pa eh. So nagagalit ako, sabi ko, ang bira yan. Sabi ko, grabe naman. Kakaingit. Hindi ko pa, namimiss ko na rin ng Pilipinas eh. Iba rin kasi, di ba, pag nakauwi ka sa Pilipinas, di ba? Pero hopefully baka next year na lang siguro. Yung kaibigan ko, nakadalawang beses na this year, si Elmo. Umuwi siya nung April. Ngayon, andun siya ngayon for 3 weeks. No? Kasi binibenta niya yung kanyang lupa. Yung bahay.
Napakalayo kasi.
Oo nga, parang, pero bakit yung mga British, pero mga British, they go to Thailand, di ba? Parang, kung ikaw ay, really? Okay.
You lose 2 days of just flying, I think. 1 day, definitely 1 full day. Kung papunta ka, you lose almost 2 days. Kasi yung papunta mo dito and then pa-land mo kasi 8 hours ahead. So pagpunta mo dito plus 1 day na. And then going back, it's a 1.5 day. In terms of pati yung waiting period mo and all that, door to door, kumbaga. So, most of us, pag nagtatrabaho ka, 2 weeks. 2 weeks yung makukuha mo. 2 weeks eh.
So,
Pag tinanggal mo yung travel, pag tinanggal mo yung travel, 8 days. 8 days na lang.
So 3 days,
or
parang 3 days ang travel, attorney. 3 days lahat, no? Papatayin mo. Parang kinain niya na, traveling mo, 3 days na.
Kinain niya na. Kinain niya na talaga.
Eh, lalo na kung tipong gusto mong bumili ng murang ticket, yung stopover mo mahaba, lalo yung mga China Airlines. O parang isang araw yung di ba, mga 14 hours, 18 hours. Oh, ganun, di ba? Lalo na patay na.
Mas mahal talaga this year ang ticket compared previous years. I don't know. Buong ticket ata, parang hindi, I think bumabawi ata ang airline industry after the pandemic. So I think that's the reason. Or mataas lang ang demand. That's the reason why.
Yung travel namin ngayon, sorry. Hindi, gusto ko lang sabihin sa attorney na. Yung travel namin ngayon, normally, di ba, pag EasyJet or Ryanair, pero hindi kami nagra-Ryanair, it's mostly EasyJet. Mura yan di ba? 20 pounds, 30 pounds, pinakamahal na 40 pounds. Pero ngayon, labot kami ng mahigit, mga almost 250, mga 300, going to Spain, the reason why we didn't decide to go to Spain, because going to Spain in end of October, early November, 400 plus, almost 500 pounds diba? So we were even deciding na dito na nga lang tayo siguro sa UK, pero hindi, we have to decide on Turkey ba tayo o anyway. Pero yun nga yung sa Quantum
Solace.
Oh, yung kay James Bond, yung isang kalsada ron, yung lugar na yun.
Yeah, sige. Check ko nga yun. Na-intriga ako.
Direct, meron bang ito na pala. Si Maribel.
Ayan, si Maribel may question. Parang immigration yung question mo, Maribel. What if they've terminated? Sila po yung may tatanong siya. Maribel,
immigration. Direct, pag immigration, ma-sense mo, hindi na muna natin ipasok ba, direct ha?
Family, okay. Divorce tayo dito. Pero okay lang, manood ka pa rin.
Okay lang.
Huwag ka namang umalis.
Manood ka pa rin.
Manood ka pa rin. Huwag ka namang umalis.
Sige lang. Okay lang.
Dito ka lang.
Ayan. Marisa Regina.
Regina, tama. Hindi Regina.
Regina.
Good evening po sa lahat. Magandang gabi. Magandang gabi din po. Tuloy po kayo. Ayan.
Okay, tuloy po kayo.
Madami mga bagong pangalan. Kung sick leave ng 1 month dahil inoperahan, tapos after 4 days, pagkalabas ng ospital, pinagtrabaho, may kaso po ba, may isasampa sa employer agency na may hawak sa akin? I think what you need, Marisa, is, depende sa, we would need to find out kung ano yung reason, kung ano yung mga exchanges at correspondence nyo. I think the best thing to do, Marisa, may free 30-minute consultation ako. And we don't want, kasi baka nanonood yung employer mo, or may potentially confidential yung advice. I would say, tawagan mamaya, magpa-flash yung email ko at contact number. Email mo ako and then usap tayo. Mas mabuti yun kasi yung mga ganyan na specific talaga and alive yung issue at hindi hypothetical, mas safe na pag-usapan natin.
Alam mo, oo nga. Mukha kasi alam mo, parang desperado yung mga nursing homes, no? Dahil parang, di ba yung mga balita nga, mga nurses nag-aalisan, hindi na di ba? Because there's somehow they're fed up or aside from the pay, yung trabaho, less staff, so nabubugbog sila. Ito, kamukha nito, kawawa naman, no? May sick leave ng 1 month dahil na-operahan. Tapos after 4 days kalalabas lang, pinagtatrabaho ng Pwede nga, pwede sabihin hindi, di ba? Well, at least pag-usapan nyo
hindi ko maintindihan dyan, and I would, ang hindi ko lang maintindihan, hindi ko siguro, it's just the way the phrase, is after ba ng 1 month o after 4 days ng, kailan nangyari yung operasyon? So what we're gonna talk about, is kailan nangyari operasyon, kailan nangyari yung sick leave, because I've had an operation
Para malinaw.
ng appendicitis. And the doctors actually said to me, issuean kita ng sick leave for 4 weeks kasi dapat actually naka-sick leave ka ng 4 weeks. I didn't accept it. So, I want to know kung kailan nangyari yung sick leave, kailan nangyari yung operation. And that's something, ito, kakatapos ng trabaho yung 1 month.
There's a follow-up question. Yeah, sige.
Na yun, dahil magbabayad daw ay ang insurance. Interesting. Why? Tama po ba yun? Pinagtrabaho nga po. Interesting. Marisa, I think we should talk privately. Email mo ko and then we can arrange a call. Dahil, why? I don't know. Also, I need a copy of your contract. Kung agency ka ba or employed ka. It would have a difference. It depends.
Siguro in one of your next things na i-discuss, maski short lang, you could probably talk about these things. Siguro having a sick leave, tapos ganyan. Yung, I don't know, ito sa in reference to this kind of mga for enlightenment lang, no? For enlightenment in future. Kung sakali ma-discuss to, no?
The starting point is ang contract, so I need a copy of your contract, Marisa. So pakisend sa email ko later on.
Later. Di pwede na i-flash niya. Sige, para na rin flash mo na rin, pero manood ka. Tapos yan. Ayan, okay. DANNA.QUINTO, no? At dvsolicitors.com. Yan.
I'm working from home tomorrow, so pag tinawagan mo yung, they can transfer it to me, I think. Pero mas mainam na mag-email ka muna dahil so I can read, I can prepare for the consultation. I like preparing for the consultation ahead of time para alam ko kung ano yung, baka may kailangan pa akong documents. So yun ang starting point natin ng contract because may mga certain contracts na ilan yung statutory sick leave and all of that. So just the same as statutory sick leave, but then ang entitlement mo kung kailan mag-uumpisa, merong iba after 0 days, iba after 7 days. Nag-change yan ng pandemic, but I just want to have a look at your contract, okay?
Yes. Mas maganda, mas klaro, at least mas maliwanag, 'di ba? Malalaman mo ko talaga ano yung sitwasyon, ano yung ng kanyang kaso. Okay.
Pakisend lahat ng binigay sa iyo ng lahat ng correspondence sa email sa iyo ng employer mo. So forward that accordingly at we can discuss directly.
Ano ka ba? Okay. Ano ka ba? .co.uk, sorry, attorney. .com. So yan, madali lang, no? DANNA.QUINTO at dvsolicitors.com. Yan. So, madali lang. Ayan. DANNA.QUINTO. Double N, Quinto. Okay. Si Gigi Elamparo, no? Ayan, Gigi Elamparo. Basta, buhay ka.
Sa kabila. Saan ba sila galing? Bakit wala yung mga profile picture nila?
Oo nga. Gigi Elamparo, mabuhay ka, no? Gigi Elamparo. Elamparo. Di ba? Pag lampara, no? Di ba? Lamp, no? Pero Lamparo. Okay.
Parang Pilipino yung ganda. Si Tito Emily.
Nasa Pilas, si Lady Emily.
Naku, tita. Salamat Salamat sa greeting.
Di ka na yata babalik sa dito sa UK, no? Diyan ka na yata, no? For good ka na ba dyan? Sino na dyan sa bahay mo sa Wimbledon, no?
Yan.
Good evening to everyone. Ikaw ba, Lady Emily, dala mo yung curlers o naiwanan mo dito sa Wimbledon, no? Kasi naka-curlers lagi yan, no? Lagi. Which is good. Lagi naka-curlers. Ibig sabihin, posturyosa. Di ba? Ang sabi nila, yung mga tao, she's very young looking at her age na, ilang taon na ba siya?
75. 75,
di ba? When she celebrated her birthday, pero kala mo, mga 55 years old na, 50 years old.
Exactly.
Di ba? Posturyosa. Ang sabi daw nila, pagka ang mga nanda daw sa mga nursing home daw, yung mga maayos sa katawan, na nag-take care of themselves. These are the people who die na matagal tsaka hindi masyadong na merong kunyari may dementia o or yung matagal ang buhay, no? Yung mga tao daw na nagpupusturyosa, no? So isang evidence na yan, si Lady Emmeline, imagine mo, 75 years old, pwede pa umabot ng 100 yan, di ba? O makikita mo pa rin, naka-curlers pa yan, di ba?
Exactly. Sa 160 na, 55 na ako. Ano ba? 50. 56. Ano, 55 na ako, 60 na ako, 55. O, 60 years old na ako.
Uy, sa Pilipinas, maraming sa Pilipinas pala, attorney, maraming mga centenarians, ha? Ilan ba yung parang gustong pabigyan yata ng pabuya o pera ni yung sino yung DSWD na secretary, yung kapatid ni pangalan nun, yung Tulfo, no? Si Tulfo, Erwin Tulfo yata. Ayan. O, sino pa ba? May pagbate. Direct.
Daluan ti Presto. Good evening, Attorney Dana, Kuya Sonny, Direct Pao, and to all viewers. Stay safe po tayong lahat. God bless us. Yes, stay safe kasi pataas na naman daw po ang COVID ngayon. Ako, naka-booster na ako eh. Naka-booster at nag-flu jab sabay. Para ako
Tataas naman.
So magkabilang na. Wow. Sabay-sabay na binigay sa akin. So, medyo nakakapagod.
Hindi, ano yan? Bagong balita yan, attorney?
Na tumataas? So, mataas daw po.
Wow. Naku, dapat pala mag-ingat, no? Kasi ngayon, di ba, parang baliwala na tayo. Parang pwede na tayo magbanggaan sa mga groceries, mga supermarkets, sa mga mall, di ba? So, ingat pa rin. We have to really be careful talaga. Ayan, sino to? Si Edgardo. Edgardo, nanonood ka. Kung nanonood ka, sa Going West is not that big. Ano yan? Pauwi na ba siya? Nakauwi na? O ano bang...
nakauwi ka na ba?
Nakauwi ka na ba?
Nakauwi ka na ba? Mukhang nakauwi na kasi na-report ka na yung... Nakita na daanan yung Northern Line at Jubilee Line. Ayan po ang ating update mula sa ating roving reporter, ating live reporter from the tube system ng United Kingdom.
Dapat pangatawanan mo yan, kakausapin ka namin ni Direk, no? Pangatawanan mo yan.
Ayun.
Sabi mo, siya, roving reporter,
Roving reporter natin. Nakakatuwa na may nagre-report sa atin. Northern Line is very busy going to Morden. But Jubilee Line going west is not that busy. And looking forward to lots of learning again today. Thank you. Thank you, Edgardo! Gusto ko yan eh. Diba? Ang daming mga...
Oo. Tama yan. Yung totoo kasi, di ba? Parang talagang London na London, UK na UK. Dahil yun ang pinag-uusapan. Northern Line, Jubilee Line, di ba?
Parang BBC lang tayo.
Pero more than kasi ang ending yata niya kasi taga Morden yan si Edgardo, kaya di ba? Yun ang line. Yung pagdating na end of the line ng Northern Line going south, that's Morden. Yun ang end of the line. So swerte niya, no? At least yung kung saan siya nakatira doon ng ending ng di ba? Ng isang line, which is the Northern Line.
Parang sure hindi niya mamimiss yung yung kanyang stop, 'di ba? Nangyayari 'yan. Nangyayari na sa akin 'yan ilang beses sa tube eh.
Tama 'yan. Alam ko bakit yung nakakatulog ka. Ako nakatulog nung kailan huli ako nagpunta na ayon. Yung sa embassy merong parang event or something nung Thursday of last week yata yun, Direct, tama ba 'yan? Nakatulog ako sa train. Buti lang, ending niya, Waterloo. Ginigising ako ng tao. What if kung hindi yun ang ending ko, lalagpas pa. Nangyari sa akin yan. Ang stop ko, Barnes, lumabot ako ng Richmond. Ako, hirap umuwi. Dahil wala na, ang tagal ng biyaheng pabalik. No? Yung, sayang. Minsan nakakatulog dalawang stop na. Una, gising na gising ka eh. Makakatulog yung mga 2 stops na lang eh. I don't know kung na-experience mo yung medyo malapit na, attorney. Diba?
Malapit na. I've definitely missed my stops sa tube din. Tapos, parang maano kayo, nako. Nasaan ako? Then you have to go back at, ulit. Nangyayari yan
diba,
sa...
Yung bearings mo, nasa na ba ako? Diba yung bearings mo, diba? Kasi nagising ka eh. Diba, wala kasi ano ba, diba? Oo. So, yeah, good. At least, diba, si Edgardo Cagastian, taga-balita natin. no? Northern Line, Jubilee Line. Pero teka muna, bakit mo sinasabihan kami ng Jubilee Line? Nasa ka ba nakasakay? Connecting ka ba? Nag-Jubilee Line ka ba muna? And then nag-connecting siya.
Siguro connecting niya, Canary Wharf ata yan eh. So Canary Wharf for Waterloo, siguro doon. And then from Jubilee to connecting to Northern Line, going to Northern. Tama ba? Tama ba aming analysis, Edgardo?
May isang line na bago, attorney, Elizabeth Line yata. Yung gusto ko ma-experience, hindi ko pa nasakyan yun eh. Napuntahan. Pero kanina umaga, when I woke up, and I was looking at may BBC, parang part of the BBC, yung they talk about yung kung ano yung mga lines. Yung kunyari, yung mga Piccadilly, di ba, yung mga ganyan, yung mga iba-ibang lines. Yung Elizabeth Line, medyo parang hindi siya good service, parang gano'n. Or delayed or something. Unlike the others, good service. Elizabeth Line. Gusto ko ma-experience yan. I'd like to experience yung Elizabeth Line. Stop in every stop, aakit ako, lalabas, tapos balik uli ako, sakay uli ako, tapos stop. Hindi nga, totoo. Meron kasi ako, meron akong libre na ako, Tony.
Libre na. Huwag na natin pag-usapan yung edad mo.
Want to sawa yun. Magsawa ka nga sakay. After 9:30 ata, 9. Kasama na tube. Pero bus pwede. Okay, teka muna. We'll have a short break na muna. Mag-break na muna tayo. And then when we come back, we're gonna talk about yung negligence, no? Itong proving. Bakit proving? Proving criminal. Ito sasabihin mo, ikukwento mo kung paano how to prove it, gano'n ba?
Ano yung kailangan? Ano
kailangan to prove? Okay.
Kailangan mong prove. Ano yung mga, kasi hindi lang yan, dahil may injury ako, automatic yan na clinical negligence. That's what it meant. Hindi lang yan, damage equals automatic guilt or automatic liability. Makikita niyo po na may dadaanan kayo na mga elemento na kailangan yung improve so that you can have a successful clinical negligence case.
Okay. Yan. Ayan ho, proving clinical negligence. So, we're gonna have a short break and when we come back, pagbalik ho natin, ayan, proving clinical negligence. Huwag ho kayong aalis.
Mula doon hanggang ngayon, serbisyong mapagkakatiwalaan, serbisyong maaasahan pagdating sa inyong mga padalang balikbayan boxes. Dito ka na sa Forex Cargo. Sa presyong kayang-kaya ng bulsa, sigurado ka pa sa inyong padala. Forex Cargo. Dahil kailangan makarating. Call 0208-813-7064. O, ano pang inaantay niyo mga kabayan? Tayo na sa Forex Cargo.
100% all natural, tasty, healthy, versatile, 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce. Galettos.
May problema ka ba sa landlord mo? Baka AV ka na ni Kuya. May problema sa mga kapitbahay, sa trabaho. O kaya naman kay Mister o kay Mrs. Away tungkol sa mala, mga may utang, mga aksidente, daing o laban sa ospital or sa NHS, harassment, o baka naman may stalker ka na gusto mong ireklamo. Punta na sa DV Solicitors para matulungan ka pagdating sa mga litigations at iba pang mga legal concerns. DV Solicitors at 2nd floor, Howard House, St. John Street, Bedford, MK42 0DJ. Tumawag sa 01234-350-244 or 01234-225-188 o kaya naman mag-email sa d.quinto@dvsolicitors.com. Visit our website at www.dvsolicitors.com.
Mula sa kabisera ng Inglaterra, sa puso ng Britanya, London, UK. Ito ang Channel Philippines Network, Pinoy Radio UK. Sumasahing papawid 24 oras. Buong linggo. Sa www.pinoyradiouk.com. Ang mga pinakapaborito mga awitin, mga pinakaabangang programa, at mga sariwang balita at impormasyon mula at para sa mga kababayang Pilipino sa UK at sa buong mundo. Pinoy Radio UK. Pinoy Radio UK.
Okay, tuloy-tuloy tayo sa ating programa. Ako po si Sonny Laragan for those who have just tuned in dito sa ating programa on a happy Tuesday. Ito po ang Legal Advice Corner. At syempre, kasama natin yung ating pinakamamahal na abogada, no? Beauty and Brains. Walang iba kundi si Attorney DANNA Quinto. Attorney, happy Tuesday once again.
Happy Tuesday! Ayan, Diyos ko lang, parang liit ko. Happy Tuesday once again. Welcome back sa ating programa. Legal Advice Corner. Matapos natin pag-usapan ng ano ba pinag-usapan natin kanina, mga ano lang, check-in ng mga kababayan natin. Siyempre, check natin, safe ba sila? Okay ba sila? Masaya ba tayo lahat? Busy ba ang Northern Line? Babalik na tayo dito sa ating dagdag kaalaman. Ang ating session. Ready na ba ang iyong pen and paper, Mr. Laragan?
Yes,
Ready na?
ito na. May pen ako. Ito na yan. Naka-ready na yan.
Whiteboard, ready na ang aking...
Okay, sige. Ako'y makikinig. At kayo, mga kaibigan, makinig ko kayo. At maski paano, may matututunan tayo. At pwede nyo ibahagi sa inyong kaibigan, kababayan, kusino dito, or kayo mismo, baka apektado kayo. So, Attorney, sige, take it away.
Exactly. Nako, ang topic natin ngayon, andito pa rin tayo sa ating civil litigation cases, yung mga court proceedings, yung mga, when you're suing an institution or organization, and sample, a sub area is what we call clinical negligence. You may have heard of it. Karamihan sa ating komunidad ay from the medical community. So, alam na alam itong topic na to. And as we said earlier, wala po kaming, it doesn't mean I respect the medical community any less. It's just a part of life. Human error is a part of life. And that's the reason us lawyers, this is an area of law na quite, we would say very interesting for me because of the risk in terms of those professions and how the system manages those risks via insurance. And when both lawyers are arguing about whether successful ang isang clinical negligence, mahirap talaga. So, hindi naman yan ganun kadali na dahil na may injury or may outcome na hindi positive, may negative outcome, automatiko na yan na successful ang clinical negligence. You will see that it's actually quite hard to prove it. It means kailangan mo ng evidence in proving, well, four main elements. We will call it four main elements, although minsan sinasabi na lang nila tatlo kasi almost given na yung number one element. So when you're trying to prove a clinical negligence case, these are the elements of the case. And in that order, kita mo link to each other, that you need to evidence, to support sometimes by expert opinion, and to support also and to corroborated by other evidence too. So hindi lang dahil damages, hindi lang yan damages, kung damages lang yan o dahil nagkaroon ka ng injury, tapos na yan. But these are apat. First of all, you need to prove duty of care. What does that mean, duty of care? Very simple. Ang isang organisasyon or tao, professional, owes a duty to take care of this person, of the claimant, and not to injure him or her. Very straightforward sa medical situation, doctor, nurses, laboratory workers, ambulance workers, and so on and so forth. So that's the reason sometimes sasabihin nila, hindi, tatlo na lang talaga kasi given na yung duty of care. But I have to just add it there para ma-spell out, especially for law students who might be watching. So you will hear about these elements of the case in your study of kahit negligence lang, normal negligence, professional negligence, but in this particular topic, we're talking about clinical negligence. So duty of care, very much given. Kung nurse, ang doktor, ang laboratory, registrar, sister, they all owe you. Sister is a term here in the UK for a nurse. Tama ba ako yung mga talaga NHS? It's a term here for nurses. Lahat sila owes a duty not to hurt or harm a patient. So, given na yan. Madali lang yan. Breach of duty. So, you have to prove na hindi nila na-follow yon, that they have caused harm, that they have failed in their duty. How do we know that? We look at the policies, we look at the procedures, we look at the guidelines. So that's the reason why a lot of our medical professionals, they're heavily trained in following nice NICE guidelines. They're very much trained in following protocol. Meron silang may mga literature or guidance na binibigay ang mga ospital on how to deal with certain situations. So that pare-pareho ang standard of care, duty of care, ang standard of care ng mga professionals na yan. Sometimes they would breach that duty by, well, ang classic example ng mga clinical negligence natin is delayed diagnosis, misdiagnosis, delay in treatment, wrong treatment. So, sometimes they would say that sa isang guidelines, they would say you must treat the patient within this hour, 8 to 10 hours. The first dose of the treatment must be given within that period. Kung ganon ang symptoms presentation of symptoms is like that, then this must be followed. So kung hindi na follow yon, call it delay of treatment, that's a breach of duty. In one example, someone might say that in closing up yung favorite ni Mr. Laragan na example, naiwan yung gunting. Siguro meron tayong, I would imagine, meron silang closing up the patient procedure. May mga final checks sila sa surgical team would go through their final checks. There would be a guidance on what to do. And, you would look at it and you would say, well, na-follow ba yung standard of care na yan, because clearly may naiwan na gunting doon. So that's a breach of duty. Babalikan natin kung ano yung mga mandate, kung ano yung nakalagay na standard na pina-follow with a hospital. So or with a particular treatment method acceptable sa kanilang field of practice. And we can have may mga certain situations na sample cases is there was an alleged mistreatment ng isang knee surgery. The allegation was the doctor failed to use the right size for that particular knee. So could be a breach of duty kasi titingnan ang tanong sa eksperto, hindi po sa abogado, ano ba ang gagawin ng isang reasonably competent na doktor sa ganyang sitwasyon? And we call that test, ito sa breach of duty, meron kaming test na tawag dyan when you ask the breach of duty, the BOLAM test. BOLAM test. If you're a law student, that would be interesting. If you are just part ng ating RSP, that's just another dagdag kaalaman jargon buster. BOLAM test is from the case of BOLAM. I think it is actually BOLAM versus NHS. That's that's the test on whether ang isang professional ay naka-breach ng duty niya. So what we do to ascertain that is to ask a reasonable body of doctors of the same field whether they would have done the same thing. So tatanungin kung yan ba ang standard sa inyong field, yan ba ang gagawin ng isang reasonably competent doctor. So as lawyers, how do we prove that? We normally get an expert. So kung sa dun sa example ni Mr. Laragan, that would be a surgical, maybe a surgeon na alam, eksperto sa procedures at treatment, reasonably competent application of skills in surgery, in general surgery. In my particular case, the knee case, it would be an orthopedic consultant maybe who will say, well, ano bang gagawin ng isang reasonably competent orthopedic consultant kung ganon ang presentation ng pasyente sa ganyang sitwasyon? Would they have picked that size of a knee replacement? So yun ang mga tanong namin sa expert. The expert would have to prove that na mali talaga yung ginawa, mali yung desisyon na taken, mali yung stepwise process na sinundan ng professional na to. Now, if you've proven that, check muna dyan, check. Hindi pa rin, kulang pa rin. Hindi kayo pwedeng, na-prove ko, hindi niya ginawa yun. At nagkaroon ako ng, for example, na-prove na naiwan yung gunting sa surgery. And then sinabi na ang damages ko actually is I have trauma. I have psychiatric damages, na depress ako and all of that. Now, hindi successful pa rin yung case dahil hindi pa natin napuprove yung causation. This is what we call a but-for test. But for this particular situation, nangyari ba to? Ibig sabihin, ito lang ba? Kita niyo yung link na yan. Ito lang ba? Itong breach of duty lang ba? Dahil that's the reason why meron tayong approach. Itong breach of duty lang ba ang rason bakit nagkaroon ng ganitong injury? And what is the injury? So, in a particular case, say for example, yung gunting na example ni Mr. Laragan, yes, may breach of duty, pero yun ba ang dahilan bakit siya depressed? Or depressed na siya before that. So we have to ask those questions. We have to prove na yun lang ang dahilan or materially that was the cost of that injury or death or damages or losses. So with the other example, meron tayong knee surgeon, mali yung nalagay na size na knee replacement, nagkaroon ng knee damage. We have to prove na yung knee damage was caused by that wrongly sized knee replacement at hindi dahil may genetic na deterioration na yung knee. So that's the sample of that. Kailangan mo talagang i-make sure na it's very clear na yun lang ang dahilan. And that's actually very hard to prove because again, lawyers can't give our opinion because it would have to be a medical expert, medical legal expert who will give an opinion, an expert opinion about this. So, meron na namang eksperto. What if may breach of duty pero walang loss? Walang epekto sa iyo, hindi, it was harmless. Walang nangyari, hindi ka nasaktan, hindi ka nagkaroon ng injury. What if that was it? Pinainom ka, halimbawa pinainom ka ng dapat paiinumin ka ng isang gamot, pero pinainom ka ng ibang gamot, however, wala namang damage sa iyo. Walang injury, you probably didn't know about it as well. Nakita mo lang when you were looking at at your medical records, may case ka ba? Unfortunately, kung walang damages, walang losses, English law says, wala kang case. There's nothing to compensate. So, kailangan kompleto pa rin yung number 4 element. Kailangan you have to prove may damages, and that could be financial damages as well, loss of earnings, loss of income because meron kang injury. If a family member died because of clinical negligence, yung next of kin or yung executor ng estate can still sue, and they can prove as well financial losses kung breadwinner ba yung namatay and they were all financially dependent on the person who died. The same thing if you need to have certain changes sa say for example yung clinical negligence, na-prove mo yung duty of care, breach of duty, na-prove mo yun lang talaga yung dahilan na bakit may ganong injury, and ngayon paraplegic na o paralyzed na yung tao, then you have to make all necessary changes sa buhay niya. For example, you have to have a bungalow instead of a flat dahil for access, that's also losses. The same for care, the same for loss of earnings for the rest of his or her life. So those are losses. But you have to evidence that if it's an earning loss, the same as yung mga pinag-usapan natin with road traffic accidents before, that you have to evidence that with historical losses. So if you were a nurse and nag-suffer ka din ng medical negligence, you can say, well, I would have been in the highest band kung hindi nangyari to. Kung hindi nangyari tong clinical negligence, and now I can't work anymore. So that's a way of proving it. As you can see, it's not straightforward. Kaya hindi lahat ng cases would automatically, sometimes you think it's a strong case, but then maybe experts don't agree. Dito pa lang, breach of duty pa lang, or sa causation, they don't agree, or may differing opinions. That happened as well in one of my cases na sabi ng isang expert, hindi, tama yung kabila. Sabi naman ng isang expert, hindi, tama sila dito, yung kabilang partido naman yung tama. That can also happen. It does happen. I know, dapat isa lang yung, sometimes I also believe, kasi hindi naman ako medical expert, hindi ko medical professional. Sometimes I thought isa lang yung answer, sasagot, but may iba na may scope for interpretation, may scope for judgment call, yung mga bagay-bagay. And doon nagkakaroon ng gray area, kumbaga. That's, from my own experience of getting experts report in these cases. So it's not as easy as people thought it is. It's actually very well argued, mostly very well involves quite comprehensive arguments between lawyers. A lot of documents as well dahil kukunin ang mga hospital records, titingnan kung ano nangyari. Kukunin ang mga GP records, titingnan kung may mga genetic diseases ba that would have impacted on the causation. Titingnan kung ano yung situation mo before the clinical negligence. What were you earning? Ano yung buhay mo? What were your day-to-day life was? And then ano yung impact ng injury sa lahat na yun, sa day-to-day life. As I've said, some people will say, well, hindi na ako nag-gym, hindi na ako nagsicycling, I don't travel anymore. Some people bedbound na. So those are things that we need to look at, and we need to look at sometimes with the assistance of an accountant kung ano yung impact sa magkano ba yung earnings that you've lost throughout your lifetime. And I had a case like that. A loss of an eye. It was settled in the end, but we had to look at, because he can't do the same job anymore, and we had to look at if the accident or if the negligence did not happen, my client would have earned this, but now he can't earn that, so we're claiming that from the other side. When I say the other side, Isipin nyo, yan ba yung doktor, yan ba yung nurse, yan ba yung laboratory worker, sila ba yung kukunan nyo ng compensation, attorney? No, hindi po yan. As we said earlier, may insurance. If you're here in the United Kingdom, you've heard it, lahat tayo insured. May home contents insurance tayo, meron tayong car insurance. The same with professionals. Lawyers have insurance. Professional indemnity insurance. Doctors do have insurance. The NHS have their own sort of insurance fund. And lahat yan naka-earmark really to manage the risk of human error. And that's the reason why I'm explaining that the fact that clinical negligence is a sub-area is a specialty, is being pursued, it doesn't mean a disrespect to the sacrifices of our healthcare workers, but actually it is a truth of life that we have to deal with, and that the system is there. As you can see, the legal principles are there to make sure na talagang salang-sala, naka-filter kung ano lang yung matataas ang standard ng kailangan mong i-prove. It's quite robust. Marami mga 4 na elemento that you really have to pin down before you can make a successful clinical negligence claim. One thing to remember is that you only have 3 years, maliit lang pong period, to either sue private hospital man yan, or NHS man yan, or settle within 3 years. After that, you'll be statute barred. Of course, parties can agree extension, but what you need to really remember is don't rely on that. Don't rely on an extension na mag-agree. 3 years. So, sa dami ng kailangan i-prove, sa dami ng informasyon na kailangan i-gather, it's not a long period of time. So if you are thinking of potentially making a claim for clinical negligence, make sure na andyan yung mga impormasyon nyo, gathered yung mga hospital records nyo straight away, and please seek independent legal advice as soon as possible. Dahil time is only short for lawyers. The more time that they have to investigate, the more time that they have to gather evidence in your case, the better. So, not necessarily us, but we do. I have worked, this is one of the areas I've been quite passionate about. Even before pa nung pandemia, when I was a young lawyer, it's one of the things, one of my, early big cases was on this area of law. And this is something that, you're hoping to get one person into a better position in their lives because of something na hindi naman aksidente. Minsan aksidente lang talaga eh. Wala namang ginusto. Walang, no one wakes up in the morning saying, oh, deliberately gusto ko magkaroon ng, gusto ko makasakit ngayon. But because if that is the case, then that is a criminal matter. That could be a criminal manslaughter kung may malice na involved. But these cases, mostly when we're dealing with on the civil side, it's may aksidente na nangyari. So it's good from a lawyer's, if you're a law student, from a lawyer's point of view, hindi lang to ambulance chaser, or hindi lang to dahil it's a criticism of the system. You're hoping to get a person na probably with less resources dahil hindi na sila nakakatrabaho as they used to a better position in their lives. So from my perspective, that's something that could be very fulfilling. But yes, as I've said, to recap, 4 ang elemento. Madami, 3 years, tandaan, 3 years lang to really make sure that you can prove all of these elements. At nakita po natin ang flowchart na yan. Link po yan lahat. Hindi yan separate elements. Link yan lahat. Duty of care, breach of duty, remember Bow-Lamb test, causation, dapat yan ang link, yan lang ang attributable yung injury dun sa breach of duty of care na yan. And hindi lang ang abogado ang kailangan mo sa kaso na to. You do need experts that can prove uh, on those particular areas of medical field, kung ano man yung area na yan, whether it's surgery, um, ophthalmology, orthopedic, that they're able to prove those elements in a medical, legal manner. Yes.
Okay, ayan. So, clinical negligence, approving clinical negligence. Teka muna, attorney. You mentioned ito, statute bar to. So, 3 years to sue or settle. When does it start? When does it commence? When is the starting point?
It starts two triggering events. Sometimes it's quite easy to know kung kailan talaga nangyari yung medical negligence or your knowledge of it. So, kung halimbawa hindi mo naman alam na naiwan yung gunting doon, nalaman mo lang, the surgery happened about 1 year ago and nalaman mo lang ngayon, so the time starts now, knowledge of the negligence. But kung nalaman mo straight away, if it was quite obvious na yung surgery, in that particular case, dun sa eye case, the surgery happened and the effects of the surgery manifested within 24 hours. So the good knowledge of the event or the event in itself, whichever, kung ano yung latter.
Ayan. So, dun bali bibilang. So, kunyari, let's say naiiwan sa ano mo na may naiwanan yung mga needles dun sa tiyan mo. Hindi mo na-realize parang masakit-sakit tiyan ko. Ba't kaya meron na baka appendicitis? Nung in-x-ray ka ulit, nakita dun pa pala. Which was the cause of yung operation mo. And you found this out siguro after a month or two after. So, yung sinasabi mong statute bar would commence more or less from the knowledge 2 months
The
after.
knowledge na may negligence, yeah. The knowledge na may, correct, that's right. It's a good example.
Criminal negligence, ito mga clinical negligence, you bring in an expert, di ba? Ganun ba? So ngayon, sabi mo, there are different opinions. Sometimes experts will have different opinions. In those cases, parang gusto ko lang nating malaman, ano nangyayari? Parang nangyayari? Parang nasa-settle yan. Siyempre, yung kabilang expert, sabihin, hindi, ganito. Yung expert na dala ninyo, hindi, ganito. Paano nasa-settle yan? Ano in real life or in the real court situations, ano ang nangyayari dyan sa kanya? Yung differing opinions. Sabi mo, it does happen, and nagulat ka nga, may mga, meron palang, akala mo, isa lang ang expert opinion, pero pwede palang magkaroon ng dalawang expert opinion. So, ano nangyayari?
Yes. Sometimes may mga ways to do that. Sometimes you'll ask them to have an expert sort of conference, and they could may hot tubbing ata yung tawag namin doon, and they could try to discuss between themselves whether there are points in the report na mag-a-agree sila. So literally may debate yung mga expert as well, just like lawyers. Kung hindi talaga and they can't agree at wala, no one's backing down, it's gonna depend on the judge. And yun ang risk na sinasabi namin sa mga client. And there's a saying, and ito yung saying na narinig ko, hindi to galing sa akin. That's the reason why it's quite risky. Going to a trial is quite risky because you're gonna have two different experts, and sometimes with different opinions, and it's gonna be like a beauty pageant in front of a non-expert judge. So, sino yung mas gusto ng judge na ebidensya? And it depends because baka mas authoritative o mas magaling yung sagot ng kabilang expert under cross-examination, and the other expert hindi siya ganun ka-confident, but we don't know. It's gonna depend on definitely a non-medical judge, a non-medical expert judge. Most of judges are long-term, highly experienced lawyers, but not necessarily medical professional themselves. So that's litigation risk for you. Kumbaga, isa yung advice na sinasabi namin about how hindi natin ma-forecast eh. If you've got two experts, who will fare better under cross-examination? So we don't know. So it's very important to get a quality expert. Sila nakalagay, may CV yan sila, Mr. Laragan, how many trials they've done, how many cases they've done. But at the end of the day, you don't know how well they would do under a very, very hard examination.
When you say cross-examination, attorney, this requires the services of a barrister.
Of a
Recently,
barrister.
nag-strike sila na they agreed to a 15% hike, di ba? 15%
That's
hike ng mga
criminal
barrister.
barrister lang po yun. Criminal barrister.
Criminal barristers. Okay. So these things that we're talking about, may barristers na cross-examine doon sa bawat expert na magkabilang panig, di ba? Tama ba?
Mhm.
So there's a need of a barrister. Okay. Oh. Okay, hindi kasi, kaya ako nabanggit kasi yan, iba ang case sa Pilipinas, sa Amerika, sa South Korea, no? Yung mga lawyers, they themselves present themselves sa korte, di ba? They argue sa korte.
Oh, we do as well. We do.
Cross-examine.
It's emerging.
You do?
It's
Oh,
emerging.
okay. Nanala.
It's emerging.
Okay.
It's emerging thing. So we do. I'm trained to cross-examine. I cross-examine witnesses as a prep, just also not a prep, but prep for titest mo din yung evidence. Titest mo din yung evidence nila. Siguro nagkakaroon na kami ng division of labor. That's how it is. But and difference lang yung rights of audiences nila. The trial in itself, we do hope not to go on a trial. Kasi as you can see, there's a bit of uncertainty kung sino yung papanigan ng judge, who we can all agree is non-expert in medical field, between two different experts. That's something to really think about in terms of going all the way to trial in a clinical negligence matter.
Fascinated ako sa ganyan. I had the chance dito sa mga Royal Courts of Justice dito sa may London, sa UK, sa London yata yung ano, no? I was really fascinated. RCJ, Royal Courts of Justice.
RCJ, yung
naalala mo direct yung istorya ako kay Iggy Arroyo. Si Iggy Arroyo kasi yung younger brother, younger brother yata ni Mike Arroyo, yung husband ni former President Arroyo, no, na parang ginagawang fall guy na anyway. So yun, nandito yun namatay and I had the chance to cover the story for GMA. I was so fascinated, no, sa korte talaga. At saka hindi ka pala pwedeng pag umatras ka, kaya parang yung hindi ka tatalikod, kaya parang nakaharap ka sa judge pa rin, no, palabas ng pintuan. So
the courts, that's the Court of Appeal. We did a few cases there a few years ago. It's a beautiful building. I used to, nung trainee solicitor ako, I would do some applications around there. May mas modern na korte, yung commercial courts nila. It's the Rolls Court around the block. So
ayun, doon napunta kami. Napunta ako noon.
Ano ka doon? Yeah, I used to present cases. I used to do a fair bit more of advocacy. So doon ako dati napupunta, and yeah, that was fun. It was fun. It was good fun.
Modern. Modern.
It was very mukhang airport. Naalala mo, mukhang airport, tapos may mga parang
modern. Grabe. Grabe. Tapos meron sila meron pang kunyari kakausapin ng witness na nasa Pilipinas. Meron kaming yung pangalan
live screening.
Basta kausap na. May screen pa, talagang ganoon. Tsaka ang ganda ng I was really impressed. With lalo na yung mga barrister when they were arguing. Sabi ko, wow, ang gagaling nito. Ang gagaling nila, namangha ako, ang gagaling nito mag-argue. So, but anyway, that was I was fascinated with it, and it was a great experience that I wanted to experience it over and over. Dahil natutuwa ako, ang gagaling nila ang galing mag-argue, ang galing nila magsalita, no, mga barristers nila, no, nakakatuwa. Ilang sides ba? 3 yata yung barrister, 2, 3. Hindi ko na matandaan. But anyway, it was quite an experience. So, since sabi mo, yung roles na meron ako.
It's a Rolls Court around the corner from, I
Rose
think,
Court,
Petters Lane.
around the corner.
Rolls Court building, the more modern
Yung
building.
parang, yes, grabe yung modern, no?
That was
Grabe
one
yung
of the
modern
most
ng
modern
mga
courts.
facilities.
That was one of the most modern courts I've ever been. And this is before, I was very young. I was newly qualified. So we're talking about 7 or 8 years ago. Before pandemic, talagang na sila.
Yeah.
Andun na sila in terms of the modernization. I was well impressed as well. Parang, sabi ko nga, nung bumalik ako, sabi ko, parang airport naman dito. Kasi kita mo yung case mo, parang boarding ka na, pinatawag ko. Sabi ko, boarding na ata.
Exactly. Yeah,
Boarding
you're right.
yung case
Tama.
ko. Yeah, that was fun.
Ang galing. Ang galing. We were there. Si Rose Clarinal, the two of us, we were there. She was doing it for ABS-CBN and I was doing it for GMA. And we had a grand time, no? Ang galing talaga. So, sabi ko, wow. No, tuwa ako. Anyway, okay, yun ang kaso. Ito ho, maganda ho mga kaibigan. Yung mga kababayan natin, kung kayo bagong viewer or dati nating viewer, this is the nicest thing about this program is, maski paano ho nadidiscuss ho natin, meron ho tayong napupulot, kaya nga ho, dagdag kaalaman na ginagawa natin. So, yan, yung hot tubbing, ano ibig sabihin hot tub? Hot tub, di ba yung tub, yung
Hot tub,
diligo
yung
ka. Bakit hot tubbing? Nag-hot tubbing.
Yun natin yung term na, unofficial term. It was more of an unofficial term na, kumbaga, they'll debate a little bit about that topic. I had that with one of my cases before, and yung expert ko yung medyo humina. So we had to settle pretty quickly after that. And wala pa
Settle for less.
Not well, a little bit for less for what we're asking. The reason being is that we have to have a realistic approach. Hindi pa to trial, we were probably a month before trial. We want to save the cost of trial, so we wanted to save the cost of trial. So we were self-managing the case. The two solicitors were managing the case, and we said, okay, sige, testingan natin yung we can strength test yung mga experts natin. So they had a sort of a phone call between them. At tapos, I had a report the next day na yung expert ko is not as strong as I thought it would be. So I had to change strategy.
Pwede pala yan, ha? So sa actuality, in real paano ba, legal situation, realistic situation, may ganyan pala, no? So to
we don't like trials, Mr. Laragan. Lawyers don't like trials. The reason being is it's too uncertain.
Okay.
If I can settle the case, and we are actually trained to make sure that at all stages we look at settling the case. And the reason for that is, you're going to spend, both parties are going to spend X amount of money preparing the case for trial, but still with an uncertainty. So we have to look at, can we manage that uncertainty? Can we buy out that uncertainty? So there's that element of that. Now, very interesting as a solicitor / risk manager / you look at it from a tactical point of view. How can I solve this problem with as efficient use of resources as possible? What's the objective? If I go all the way to trial, am I really going to get what we thought we're going to get? Or given my evidence, can I push the evidence? If I really think very, very strongly of my case, can I push the evidence? Can I create cost pressure? So we're going into the technicalities. If you're a law student, we actually make cost offers. If we feel strongly of our case, we make cost offers so that we can ensure the maximum cost recovery. Tatakutin namin ng cost recovery yung kalaban, so that they will look at the case and they will feel, the risk is too high for us to go to trial, so that we might settle now. That's very interesting. So that's that's what solicitors do. That's from a tactical, strategical point of view. You look at how you solve the problem by managing the resources, by managing the risk, and creating creating pressure, finding the pain points, finding the psychological barriers to settling, and not exposing, if the case is high risk in terms of evidence, if the case is high risk in terms of, alam mo, hindi naman kayo mananalo in trial, then it's not, it wouldn't be, your client would be ill-advised to go on full trial. You're not necessarily solving the problem. The problem sometimes in your situation, or in this situation na pinanood nyo, kailangan nila ng, they're claiming for a share of the estate. So we will need to have a realistic look at the merits of the case, and see how much both parties are going to spend in trial. 50,000 each party, 60,000 each party. And even if they win, cost recovery is not 100%. They'll still have to they might lose 25% of what they put in. So those things, there's that more complicated side of managing the case and creating those situations so that mai-induce mo yung settlement.
Okay, well, yan, at least napag-usapan na ho natin yan, ang proving clinical negligence. Okay, wait, attorney, may isang magandang palabas sa Netflix, talagang nag-binge kami, Have you seen yung Extraordinary Attorney Wu?
No, I've heard of it.
Wow! Ang ganda. Yung bang, ngayon lang nangyari sa akin at sa amin, no? Yung simula pa lang ng palabas, nakangiti ka na hanggang sa matapos, and then up to the next episode, nakangiti ka. Ha?
Good vibes. Good vibes siya na. Good
vibes, oh. At saka very educational kasi she would cite article ganyan. They would use mga codal provisions of the law. They would use mga precedents, mga ganon, mga mga citation. Pero mostly ganon, yung mga code provisions of law, no? Nakakatuwa, talagang educational at cute, parang love story na drama na ang ganda, maganda. I highly recommend it. Naalala ka nga namin nung pinapanood namin yun eh. Sabi nga namin all the way si Attorney DANNA to, no? Yeah, 16 episodes, and because it will be copied now in 10 countries. It will be copied in 10 countries. They're gonna do a remake of it in the US.
Wow.
And then meron ng second season na. Yeah, Extraordinary Attorney Wu. WOO. It's a Korean drama. Ganda, ganda. Kung gusto mo ng feel good, panoorin yun. Extraordinary.
Minsan sa opisina, naghahanap ka ng feel good after lawyer.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. You might be able to relate to it, no? Kada episode, it's a case. There will be episodes na tatakbo ng 2 episodes. There will be some cases, pero yeah, cute na, nakakatuwa. It's about an autistic lawyer. Autistic siya. The first ever autistic lawyer ng kuno-kuno, no? Sa palabas sa South Korea. And it's cute, no? Sa Amerika, dami mga legal programs, di ba? Yung mga ganyan, mga lawyers, mga law firms, di ba? Ang dami. Pero ito, kakaiba yung angulo. Autistic yung abogada. Ang galing. Genius nga siya. Henyong-henyo, no? Napakahusay. And they talk about whales as well. Whales. So, panoorin mo. It's if you need a feel-good thing and you're down from and ngayon ko lang naranasan yung nanood ako ng palabas na from the beginning to the end. Natapos isang episode. Siyempre, susunod yung next episode, nakangiti ka pa rin. Tapos pagkatapos na, nakangiti ka na naman all throughout. Gano'n, no? Maganda. It's a nice. It has the highest watching nila, ENA. Marami sila, 7th highest watched ganyan, grossing, Korean, mga gano'n eh. It's broke some records or it's made some records, and it's gonna be parang yung kamukha ng mga Big Brother, yung mga idol na yan, mga franchise. Let's say Big Brother, di ba? Nauna sa Netherlands yan, yung ano pangalan ng company na yun? Endemol Entertainment.
Yes, so that's right. Yeah.
Napunta rin sa Pilipinas yan, di ba? Yung mga Big Brother, kung ano yan, Endemol yun. So franchise o nag-license ang ABS-CBN to have yung mga big brothers sa Pilipinas. So, itong show na to, yung Extraordinary Attorney Wu, most likely magaganyan sa mga 10 countries or more pa, no? Nice concept, no? It's an autistic lawyer, and cute na, it's a South Korean, teledrama, ganun. Naalala ka namin, attorney, ha?
Thank you.
Oo.
Thank
Pati
you.
yung isa Spain na may pinanood ko yung dancers, yung mga lalaki, yung ano ba tawag doon? Yung mga ano yung story na yun? Yung binanggit ko siya, nasa Spain ang setting eh. And there was this lawyer who was about to do a pro bono case involving a macho dancer na parang na frame up or something for the murder or something or somebody. I forgot the sorry. Toy Boy. Toy Boy.
Yes. Yes.
Di ba? Toy Boy.
no.
Naalala na naman kita uli ron.
Thank you.
So yan. So maganda kung ano. At least may natutunan tayo ngayon for today, criminal negligence, proving, So, ayan, duty of care, breach of duty, causation, damages, no? Ayan. Oy, 3 taon yan bago kailangan di pwedeng ano ba, mga 3 days in 1 day, walang ganun, no? 3 years in 1 day, wala naman, hindi naman ganun ka-stricto.
No, 3 years talaga. And wag niyo pong taunin na doon talaga siya sa third. Huwag kayong tumawag on the 3rd year anniversary because as you've seen, madaming kailangan na impormasyon. So, you really need 6 months to gather the information sometimes, to gather experts' evidence. So, ang advice dyan, as soon as possible, as soon as na may inkling kayo na may medical negligence, get an advice. Kasi may mga nagbibigay naman ng 30-minute free consultation. May mga madami, hindi lang naman kami, madami naman dyan. And most of these cases, pwede namang no win, no fee if the evidence is pretty strong.
Pretty strong. Okay. All right. Okay, may mga pagbati tayo. Direct, sige, let's go sa Sino to? Uy, Jared Jonathan.
Pa-shoutout po from Burnt Oak. Hello, Jared Jonathan.
Jared Jonathan, mabuhay ka. Burnt Oak. Ano yan? London yan, di ba? Sa Burnt Oak or sa Kent? Saan ba yung Burnt Oak na yan? Yan ba ay nasa Kent o yan ba ay nasa Greater London area? Okay, sige, direct.
Ayan, si Stan!
Si Stan! Stanley! Good evening.
Favorite blongo ko, siya at si Sheena Ninay, Sheena, kanyang asawa. Good evening po, Sir Sonny, Attorney Dana, at direct pawat sa mga viewers. Mayong gabi man, Stanley, kaya ato nga mga kasimantuwang, nga mga Ilonggo, kag mga hindi man Ilonggo.
Gusto ko makita yan si Stanley, para makita dahil nakakatuwa, Pero nagpunta na Amerika yan. Golden Gate ba pinuntahan niya sa Amerika? California ba nagpunta? Saan ba nagpunta? Marami siyang pinuntahan. Stan! Punta naman tayo Northern Ireland sa Belfast. Sige, attorney.
Masayang malamig na Tuesday, nilalamig ata lahat. Magandang Attorney Dana and always good looking and slim Sir Sonny. At sabi nga ni Super Sir Edgar, dagdag kaalaman. And lovely Direk Paula and all happy viewers. God bless us all. Stay safe from Team Lebrojo.
Yun nga, nag-iisip ako, punta kaya ako ng Northern Ireland, sa Belfast. O kaya, pagka nagpunta ka ng Northern Ireland, pwede ka na kasi bumaba rin sa Republic of Ireland eh. So you're hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. You've got 2 capitals. The capital of Northern Ireland is Belfast. The capital of Republic of Ireland, yung ROI, is Dublin. So,
yun.
Ayan.
Dami tayong kababayan dyan sa Republic of Ireland at Northern Ireland. Madaming Pilipino dyan.
Mabuhay kayo dyan, yung mga kababayan natin. Pero there was a time, yung mga Pilipino dyan, naglilipatan sa UK. Kasi nga, di ba yung mga nurses dyan, noong unang dali, hindi makapagtrabaho yung mga spouses. They're not allowed. Hindi ka mukha sa UK eh. Dala-dala mo yung asawa mo. Pwede na magtrabaho, di ba? So, ganun. Yun ang naging Pero binago yata ng gobyerno nila yan because they found out, eventually they realized na, teka muna, nag-aalis yung mga nurses eh. Kaya nga kailangan natin nurses eh. So, yeah, inalaw na magtrabaho yung mga hobbies, no, yung mga husbands. So, pati mga anak, pwede, di ba? Basta any dependent.
Dependent.
Dito. So, ayan. Okay, well, attorney, o baka may nais ka pang idagdag sa iyong tinalakay, clinical negligence, bigla mo naalala, or, mga shout-outs or anything, siguro magpaalam na tayo, attorney. Go right ahead, please.
I think, uulitin ko lang po ang aking contact details. Ang email is danna.quinto@tvsolicitors.com. Telephone number is 0123-422-5188. Again, it's danna.quinto@tvsolicitors.com, or call me at 0123-422-5188. If may kaibigan or kayo man or kamag-anak kayo, even if you're not sure kung clinical negligence yan, do get legal advice. We do free 30-minute consultation. And kung may iba pa kayo non-clinical negligence na question like yung ating kababayan kanina, please do make contact. Type nyo kung ano yung kaso nyo or yung concern nyo, and then we can organize a 30-minute consultation. And sa lahat, Mr. Laragan, as usual, thank you. Napaka-good vibes. Dito yung series na inaabangan ko. Yung series natin dito sa Social Remote Bubble. Ito ang series ko na every Tuesday. the Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Yes, Happy Tuesday. We miss you. Oh, we miss you. Every week may nakikita kami sa iyo. Kamukha nun, yung bata na kumapit sa iyo, sabi niya kasi napaaga ang alis mo dahil nga sa strike mo, di ba? Oh, wag muna. Pero
naghabol ako ng rail strike ang mga gawain ko sa buhay.
Hindi kasi lalo ka may stress noon kung paano ka
hindi ka talaga makaka-uwi, Mr. Laragan. Mahirap talaga, hindi ka talaga although they offered, to be fair to them, they offered na magstay ako. Pero madaming gagawin sa bahay, so kailangan talaga uwi. So yeah.
Was this a Saturday or a Sunday? Saturday daw na. Saturday.
So
Saturday,
may mga gagawin sa bahay sa Saturday. So kailangan umuwi talaga.
Yeah.
So salamat sa lahat. Direct Paula. Thank you always sa ating direct medalist. Maraming salamat kay Direct Paula. And everyone, thank you and take care.
Oh, take care din si Direk na. Siyempre, pag hindi nag-take care yan, paano tayo?
Wala tayong
lonely tayo. No? Oo, tama. Yan. Well, I guess, thank you very much, Attorney. First of all, maraming salamat sa ating dagdag kaalaman na iyong inihatid sa ating mga kababayan, clinical negligence. So, ayan. So, kung malakas-lakas ang case nyo, you haven't got anything to pay for it, no? Kung sakaling yung firm ni attorney ang inyong ang tawag ba ron? May anong word doon? Yung instruct? Ano ba? Instruct. Di ba? Instruct. So, 3 years off too soon, no? Kailangan yan, no? Kamukha na sinabi ni attorney, may mga insurance tayo, house, car insurance, kung ano-anong insurances. May mga insurances na pwedeng pagkuha na ng pera, no? Yung mga professionals, yung kamukha ng mga healthcare professionals, merong mga NHS yan siguro, hospital na, merong mga di ba? Professional indemnity or whatever it is. Kami private din, yan.
Hospital na mga insurance naman.
So napakahalaga nitong diniscuss mo. Thank you very much, Attorney. Once again, nagkaroon kami nagdagdag kaalaman sa atin for this week, no? And looking forward to next week again. See you. Next week is, ano ba next week? Weekend. Boy, meron ka na pala ngayon. Batangas Association. I'll be attending the event on Saturday yata yun. So, bibihira tayong lumalabas pero on those occasions, we will be attending. So, yung fundraising sila, they have a dinner and dance, Batangas Association, no? More power. It's happening this Saturday. I'll be there. Okay. And I guess it's time for us to say goodbye. So, sa ngalan ni Attorney Danna Quinto, yung ating eksperto at ang beauty and brains natin. Minsan nahihiya nga ako dahil ganda-ganda naman ang aking co-host, abogada. Ako naman mukhang, ano ba tawag dito? Mukhang beast. Sabi nga, parang beauty and the beast. Pero okay na rin yun. Kasi kung walang beauty and beast, walang pelikula Walang story. Okay na rin. But yeah, what you want to thank you. So sa ngalan mo, attorney, at sa ngalan ni Direct Pau Perez Paula. Sabi ko si Paula Perez. Ito po si Sonny Laraging nagsasabing, thank you ho. No? Maraming salamat ho sa inyong walang sawang pagsubaybay dito po sa Legal Advice Corner on a Happy Tuesday. So let's do another Happy Tuesday next week. So till then, take care, God bless, and good night. Bye.
Bye. Bye.